First off, in episode 86 of Man Up, I answer the question of why some people won't take good advice.
Masculinity for the intelligent man. I'm David Tian, Ph.D., and this is Man Up!
Hi, I'm David Tian, Ph.D., and this is episode 86 of Man Up. I apologize, the last episode went really long, so I'm going to try to keep this under 5 minutes. The problem was I actually jotted down like 5.4 bullet points before I started answering that question. This time I will not do that. That was the first time I ever did that, and it ended up being one of the longest videos. So I think one of the keys to brevity is not to jot down any notes or even think about it before. So I'm pulling up a question here from Michael. All right, Michael, I read the question before pressing record, but that's it. Hopefully this will ensure that it stays under 5 minutes. Okay, his question is basically that he's been trying to give advice to his guy friends, mostly about what not to do when they're desperate. Now, how not to seem desperate. Not texting a girl too often is one of the examples he gave. But they're not taking his advice, and they're not getting with the program. They're not watching my videos as much as he is. They're just not being good, supportive friends. They're not taking his advice. And he's wondering what to do. So based on the advice that he was mentioning in his message, I think that's pretty, he's basically just pointing out content that they can go to with pretty good advice. Most of it's for me. So you can't fault the advice. So based on that, I look at their unwillingness to go to the advice. And here's one of the things I've noticed and I've learned from my over 10 years of coaching other men, giving dating advice, life advice, is that even when, so out of all the people who need the advice, only a small percentage of them will realize that they need it. Okay, so most people who are experiencing difficulty in life and can benefit from knowledge are so mired in the muck of their problems that they don't even realize that there's a solution. And sometimes they don't even realize that there is a problem because everyone else that they know suffers from this problem. They don't consider it a problem. So they just continue to muck around in that life. And a very easy example of this is mindset problems. I'm always open to learning new mindsets because that's, first of all, one of the quickest ways to get success, but it's also the most powerful way. And because it's just in the mind, it's not like you're teaching somebody how to use power tools or something. It's not something physical that you can point at that it's easy to observe, but it's actually something mental and emotional. Because of that, it's hard for them to come to grips with it. People don't even realize it. It's easy to live in denial of the problem. And that's what most people do. So out of the total set of people who have this problem and can benefit from instruction and coaching and knowledge, only a small percentage of them will actually go and seek this knowledge. Okay? And out of that group of those who seek the knowledge, only, again, a small percentage of them have the right mindset to actually take in that knowledge, assimilate it, and apply it. This is just a sad thing, but it's just the way people are right now. And one of the things that I've noticed is that the most important lesson you can teach anyone, no matter what the course is actually how to learn. Because if they don't know how to learn, they can't take in any instruction. So I started many years ago in my own live training courses, in my online training courses, putting a how to learn module right at the beginning. But here's the catch-22. If they don't know how to learn, you're not going to learn how to learn. So that became a problem. And it's not easy to change. It's not easy to change somebody who's not willing to learn. And here's the big issue, and it's important just to understand why this is happening. And if you suffer from the problem, at least you know that this is the problem, right? And then that maybe will give you enough intellectual humility to try some of the solutions on how to learn. Just on that note, on how to learn, the best resource I found overall is still Adam Robinson's book, What Smart Students Know. That changed me from being a C+ student my first semester of university to becoming straight A's all the way through. In fact, by my third year of university, I was an A+ student. So the GPA max was 4.0, and I was like 4.15 or something that year. Anyway, and I credit the mindset change that came from that book. Another good resource is Cal Newport. I've only read his blog. I haven't read any of his books, but I think he's pretty good on that. So anyway, some resources for you. But those who don't know how to learn won't know how to learn from those anyway, right? And the mindset is this. The mindset difference is this. There's a mindset that's called the growth mindset, but then there's one that I call the resistance mindset. And this is the most problematic one. When you find people who resist new ideas, or who always look for counterexamples. And in philosophy, you see this a lot. You're paid to do it, right? But you're also paid to, in order to become qualified as a professor of philosophy, you often have to go through many, many years of answering, writing exams, writing papers to some other person's satisfaction, your own professors, in order to qualify to be a professor. So they're trained and conditioned to be able to entertain an argument without agreeing with it, and then being trained to come up with counterexamples and counter arguments to it. So then that's a very expert thing for them. It's not like just a knee-jerk reaction. There are a lot of, unfortunately, armchair philosophers who are not trained, who are not trained to be philosopher, and instead they just take this combative debater attitude toward things, and often they are not in that group that actually seeks out courses and training, knowledge. But again, some portion of them, up to 50%, maybe. Unfortunately, in some cases, 70%. One of the ways to weed them out is by having extra hurdles that they have to cross in order to actually enter the course. And that's what I do. Like if you want to, for instance, just join Limitless, I don't just give it to you. You have to wait for the registration period, and then you have to watch the pre-launch videos, and then really, and then there's another hurdle, which is the price. And that's there for a reason. I want people to commit because I put a lot of time. In fact, the time I spend in responding on the Limitless forum is probably more than the money I make back from your purchase of it. Anyway, whoever, I'm not referring to Michael here, but whoever purchases it. Anyway, oh man, 7 minutes. Okay, so the point is, I keep getting on tangents. The point is, those who resist learning, debate, and are combative, and are looking for reasons not to follow through, they're looking for, they nitpick on theory. They encounter, they like to entertain a lot of what if questions endlessly, because there are endless what if questions. You can make a career, lifelong career out of asking and trying to answer what if questions before actually taking action, implementing, applying in the real world these theories. And I go on and on about it in my courses and in my emails. You got to get it done, and you can only get it done by going out in the real world and getting the results and trying and failing. You must fail, because that gets in, like, you obviously learn from the failures of others, but if you don't fail yourself, you don't get the pain points associated with the mistake, and you don't learn it at that deep level. It's sort of like a guy who just reads a lot of, it's sort of like a guy, he goes into battle in the military, and he's watched a lot of, he's gone through all the training, so he's physically fit and everything, but he hasn't actually done real battle, so it's just theoretical for him, versus a guy who's, battle hardened. Now, obviously the veteran knows that knowledge, or knows, maybe let's just even keep it contained, so that they know the same amount, the same facts. But the veteran who's seen his friends blown away knows those facts at a deeper level in his nervous system and in his brain, much more than the guy who's entering battle for the first time. So you got to get out there and try it, and try it on people many times. Got to get those neural pathways formed. You can't just sit there and do armchair theorizing and think you're going to get those results. Now, having said that, I was an armchair theorist as a philosopher for my career, and prior to this, and being a coach. I still feel that there's a lot of value in reflection, and in the mind, and in the mindset. So, I've actually created another course called Invincible, a new course, where from the armchair, 90% of the work can be done. But there's still application. You can't expect to just sit there like Matrix and just go and immediately master it. I can condense 10 years of experience into 1 year of work for you, and that 10 years down to 1 is incredible in my opinion. It's like a fucking miracle in my opinion. But you got to put in you got to do the work. You got to pop in the videos. You got to do the audio. You actually have to do the exercises. You have to talk to people. You don't have to do 1,000 cold approaches or even 500 cold approaches like we did back in the day. But you do need to go out and talk to people. You do need to go out and apply the knowledge. All right, so there you go. Oh damn, 10 minutes. One of these days, I'm gonna get it down to 5. There are some videos that are 5 minutes. So anyway, join the private Facebook group. Ask me your questions there. This show feeds off your questions, so I appreciate every single question I get there. And some of them I can answer right in the comments of the questions. So post there. You'll find a great community, a supportive community there as well. Join the group. I will see you inside the group. Until then, man up.